welcome to another episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. Hi. I am, of course, your host, Mark Kuznez, and you know what? I've been thinking a lot about the site in general and things these past few days, ways of some great ass silence right there. But ways of getting and making episodes of Attack the Backlog more frequently, getting them done on a quicker basis, being able to turn them around faster and all that jazz. Basically, what I just said, saying it over and over again. Not doing that, because I just said the same thing fucking 3 times in a row or whatever, in slightly different ways. But I've been thinking about Attack the Backlog, this in particular, Attack the Backlog in particular, and how I could go about making episodes faster. And what I've come to, the conclusion I have arrived at, is that I'm going to focus less on the video side of things. That isn't me saying I'm not going to do the video, but that I am not going to spend as much time on the editing process, because in the grand scheme of things, I am far from a great editor, video editor. And the videos I put out, as proud of them as I am, they are nowhere near as good as the best that is out there, and where I think my strengths lie, and where I think the audience, or what I think the audience, what I assume the audience comes to my content for, or why they come to my content, what they enjoy, really, mostly, is my personality and my writing, the dumb joke making that I am very good at. I am very good at writing awful jokes that you could argue are not even jokes. But I think that is my strength. I did graduate, of course, or not of course, but I've talked about it. I have a degree in writing. I don't have a degree in video editing. I don't have a degree in audio editing. I don't have a degree in any kind of engineering or technical aspect. I have a degree in writing, specifically fiction writing. So I've got a degree in bullshit. It's very weird. I think, Columbia, where I graduated from, I think after my year, they got rid of the fiction writing degree and lumped everything into a creative writing degree, which makes a lot more sense, because fiction writing is very, very specific. It is a very specific degree, and usually it's, at most schools, most colleges, I believe it is a creative writing degree. So it makes sense that they would remove that and just create this all-encompassing writing degree. But I think that's where my strength is. I think people would agree with that. And it only makes sense. It's also such a stupid, obvious thing to say, that I think why people enjoy consuming my content, those who do enjoy consuming it, is because of my personality. Every content creator is a personality, fucking personality. Like, all the content we consume in this space, whether it's podcasts or video content on YouTube, streamers, it's all personality driven. You're watching someone on Twitch. Yes, you will likely enjoy the games they're playing, but you will also watch somebody play a game you don't really care about if you enjoy watching them, if you enjoy hearing them talk about this, that, or whatever. Because ultimately, all of this crap is personality first, video, whatever, content, etc. second. And so, putting my focus, prioritizing that side of things, making it so I'm always, I'm writing these good scripts, and then I am not busting my ass and spending so much time working on the video that I am unable to produce content at a frequent basis. And I say that as someone, or I say that having never missed an Attack the Backlog release. I have put out episodes for 4 years or so now, and they have come out every other weekend, every other Sunday, without fault. I have thrown in some second runs episodes in there, but there's always been an episode every other week. And so it's not that I have been unable to produce content. I had a huge backlog or a build-up, a collection, a bank, whatever, of episodes that allowed me to take a lot of time for myself this past year and so on. But that well has dried up, and I don't have much in there anymore. So I'd like to build that up again, one, but I'd also like to produce content on a regular basis and be able to turn around things and have things come out more so around the time when I actually play them, and not have things where it's me playing the game, doing everything, and then you don't see that content for months and months and months, potentially. And this would potentially give me the opportunity to work on other projects, to actually release second runs, or to give a fair amount of time to second runs as well. And then maybe explore these other ideas I've had and would like to pursue and give a shot to. Maybe return to the anime show, have that exist on it. Like, it's just, I want to get to a place where I am creating content on a regular basis, and it's content I enjoy, that is coming out of me, in a way that I am never. What I don't want is to dread the creative aspect of it all, and to have parts of things where I am dragging my feet or taking my time and letting things wait until the last minute because I'm not looking forward to it. And to some extent, but a lot of this has to do with the current events, and especially the stuff I've gone through recently with my dad and everything. That has not helped things at all. But it's been hard finding the motivation to work on Attack the Backlog as of late, which is why my once thriving well is now a few buckets worth. So that is, I don't know how well any of that came across. Right at the beginning of the show, when I had that moment of silence. And it's not a moment of silence. I mean, right when that happened, I immediately thought I should hit stop and go and restart the show. But we're just going with it. Because, that's what this is all about. Also, I've realized, like, my hair, I don't see the thing about hair and presentation and appearance and all that is that I have no idea what I'm doing. So, especially with hair and my hair, I don't know where my hairline is. I don't know where I'm supposed to actually part my hair or anything. And how I'm supposed to comb it or just do this. It's like, what? How does it work? I don't know. Wigging out with RPO. I just referenced Kind of Funny and I feel awful about it. Oh my god. But I mean, what can I say? I've watched some Kind of Funny recently because I use my way of rating a show's quality that I may check out is, would I rather watch Kind of Funny? And if the answer is yes, then I do not like the show I'm rating on that scale. But yeah, that's what I want to do with Attack the Backlog as well. You may see a lot of similar content coming out soon because I really want to check out some of these games as a service games that are shutting down and put out episodes for them. So I want to play the campaign from Crossfire X because I've wanted to play that for a long time. I don't know if they're going to make the second campaign available for free or for cheap, because currently it's only available as part of the Ultimate Edition bundle, which also I don't believe you can purchase on Xbox right now. It's all weird, but the first campaign, Catalyst, is part of Game Pass until the 17th. It's going to be gone from Game Pass shortly. And I don't remember if I own it or not, if I did buy it at some point. But either way, I want to get through that. And then I do want to check out Rumbleverse. And maybe Knockout City? I think Knockout City has a longer life. And so does Rumbleverse, comparatively, at least, to Catalyst. Which is gonna be gone. Like, it's so frustrating. I worry. I don't even worry. I just think about that day when Apex Legends dies, and I think about the money I put into that game and how it's just all for nothing at that point. It's like, why did I do that? But I enjoy it now. I enjoy it in the now. I enjoy supporting the game. My only frustration really with all these types of games is that I wish, because you have something like Fortnite, which I believe implements bots when you first start playing or whatever, mixes them in so that you can kind of feel better about yourself. And with Apex, you have the specters or whatever that exist in those one structures on, is it Olympus that has them? But in Titanfall they had the multiplayer where the AI was a part of it. Just give me fucking bot play. That's one of the few things I've always really liked and appreciated about it's like a huge hair that is just hanging out. One of the things I've really appreciated about Call of Duty all these years is that you can play the multiplayer against bots. So that even if the servers went down the game is dead, but you really like them all, you can still play against bots. It's not the same, of course, no, but it still allows you to play the game. I guess they're adding Team Deathmatch Apex Legends as well. But those are the games in the immediate future I want to get through before they're dead to experience Retire the Backlog. So that's the thing that's gonna be happening. Yeah, this is a weird show, kind of. Just 'cause there's just a bit of meandering to start everything off, and then I don't know, I'll talk about a few games, and then I'll end it. I got Patreon questions, I believe. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Anyway, in terms of what I've been watching or anything of that ilk, nothing really super interesting to report. Still continuing with Farscape and Voyager. I'm almost through season 2 of Voyager. And I feel confident that with Voyager, no one actually likes Voyager. Not even Star Trek fans. None of them actually like Voyager. We all, depending on how open we are, how willing we are to crap and whatnot, how devoted we are to the Trek universe, how easy we are pleased, etc. We all, after a certain point, that varies from person to person. For me, it happened maybe around halfway through season 2. We just get to a point where we become complacent with what Voyager is and what it has to offer, which is nothing new or unique or additive to the Star Trek universe and Star Trek whatnot. We just accept it for what it is, and then we go along for the ride for the rest of the series. Because that's where I am. I don't like it exactly, but I don't hate it anymore. It's fine. It exists. I think I may have said this the last episode or something along those lines, but that's Voyager. And I don't feel like that's going to change. There's some really bad episodes, these last few ones, but yep. I did watch Geostorm, and that movie's amazing. It's so much fun. It's so stupid. The thing that I'm not even going to talk about it, other than to say why it's amazing is because it's incredibly stupid, and it's equal parts disaster movie and political conspiracy thriller, fucking dumb nonsense. Like, it's so stupid. I love it. It was great. Highly recommended. If you have HBO, check it out. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I even want to bother with The Last of Us. I'm sure it's very, very good. But since I won't be watching with my father now, I'm like, do I want to watch it myself? And the borderline, almost hyperbole revolving around the third episode makes me hesitant as well. Because whenever I have a very negative, jerky reaction to praise, to unabashed praise, to universal praise, where whenever I see a lot of love for something or a lot of strong love for something, my immediate thought is, what the fuck's wrong with all you people? What are you on about? Huh? Calm down. Because I don't know if I ever am that way. I'm probably that way, and I'm being very hypocritical at this point. But I feel like I'm never, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever. This is so freaking good. This is just and I always try to make sure that it's always noted when I talk about anything that I like, that it's me liking it, or me saying it's good to me, but not just blanketly good. But what I've been playing, playing a bit of Raiden IV Cross MIKADO Remix, which I think is how you pronounce that title. I always, whenever I see a lowercase x, like, is it cross? Do they want me to ignore it? But there's a space between it, so I think it would be cross. And I'm guessing it's a cross thing or whatever. But Raiden is a fairly prominent and I'd say prolific vertical scrolling shmup. And I know it's vertical scrolling because I came to the conclusion, I came to the realization that, or more accurately, I found out a way to always remember what is vertical and what is horizontal. And the way I figured this detail out, or what I am doing in my head to remember, is when athletes are doing all their shit at their various combines to show off their skills, their athleticism, one of the things that people always test is one's vertical jump. And I'm like, oh, what's the vertical? And you know what that means? Up, down, up, down. So vertical is when you're, scrolling up. And horizontal would be left to right or right to left, but usually left to right. So that's how I'm going to remember from now on. So all that fun jazz out of the way. Raiden is a vertical scrolling shmup series that I fucking adore. And this is fantastic. This is just so good. It includes your regular arcade mode, and then it has an overcharge mode, I believe it's called, where they introduce a few new levels and change up the scoring method, where after defeating certain enemies, you keep shooting them to build up the over leveling of them, and then you collect that for point bonuses. And it's the thing I love about the Raiden series is that it's just a classic shmup, and they've never alleviated from that very traditional original setup. It is very much so a bullet hell shmup. The bullets are the thing you have to pay attention to and the things you have to avoid. One of the things I hate about a lot of modern shmups is that in addition to worrying about enemy projectiles, you have to worry about the environment, whether it be debris or walls, buildings, structures, etc. And why I don't like this is because, one, worrying about the bullets is enough. If you design your game well enough and you make it challenging, like having to navigate the space and weave through the path of the bullets, that's more than enough. Okay? You don't need more shit. And then a lot of games, because of their art, their aesthetic, their visual style, their visual quality, they don't always, and many don't, do a great job of differentiating between what is a part of the background and what is a part of the environment that if you touch, you will explode. And that becomes frustrating. I think I talked about this a few episodes or so ago with some game where I died a few times the first run because I didn't know why, because I ran into a part of the environment and I didn't know that was something that would hurt me because it wasn't super clear visually. And so that's not something you have to worry about in Raiden. You just worry about the bullets. And there can be a lot at times. Like I said, this is very much a bullet hell game, a bullet hell series. And it can be very overwhelming and very overstimulating when you have so many bullets coming at you, and then also the power-ups being dropped by enemies at the same time, and the little point orbs that are dropped, and there could just be so much stuff on screen that you can at times be unsure of what is something you can touch and what you can't. Is it a bullet? Is it a point thing? I don't know. Yeah, let's just see what happens. But I love it, and I also, it does one of the things I love in shmups where you have a certain amount of continues your first run, but as you play more and more and do better and just continue to play and put time into the game, you unlock more credits so that you can progress further, so on and so forth. So it encourages replaying it, and it makes it so that if I have a bad run or whatever, I still feel like it wasn't all for nothing, because I've put time into the game, which is going towards unlocking this, that, or whatever. Like it always feels like no matter how a run goes, what's happening, you're not wasting your time. The music is fantastic as well. Great music. And you can save your replays after you've finished a game. And what I love doing with those is you can speed them up to 16 times. You can't save your replays and go back and change the way they are like you can some of the collections, the classic game collections that allow you to watch other people's replays and then jump in at any point. You can't do that with these. These are just strictly replays. But you can go up to 16 times the speed, and watching the levels play out in that super speed is amusing. But the thing too, though, really ultimately with this game is that if you're a fan of shmups, you no doubt already know this game exists. If you're a fan of shmups, you're a fan of this series. If you're a fan of shmups, you already know you're going to be getting this game. So who am I really talking to when I'm talking about this game? I don't know. Am I talking to you? I'm not sure how much this game costs, but I like it. There are a good amount of modes in it, but it's just the same thing. The modes will be a little bit different, but it's all Raiden IV. They're all, it's all based on Raiden IV, so that is what it is, which is a 360 game. Probably came out on other platforms as well, but I have it on the 360. I think there was a Raiden 5 on one, but this is again Raiden 4 cross MIKADO remix. Very, very good. I like it quite a bit. And then the other game I dabbled a bit with is Roboquest, which is an early access game, part of the Xbox preview program. I'm not sure if it's on any other console platforms. But this is a first-person roguelite where you play a robot. And it's scratching that same itch as Gunfire Reborn scratched, while being different enough from it. Where Gunfire Reborn was very tight and had you going through these very small levels that were broken up into a handful of rooms, and then you would move on to the next area. The area in Roboquest's levels are much bigger and are more open, allowing you to take various paths. Like you'll get to they're not even rooms, they're areas, and they'll have multiple paths you can take, and then they might lead to a dead end where you have to go back and so on and so forth. And it feels sort of like a smaller rendition of Returnal in terms of the map layout specifically. But you're going through these levels, defeating enemies, getting wrenches to upgrade your base and your robot for future runs, fighting bosses, which are really, really cool. And I like that. One of my favorite things about the boss fights from the few I've played is that when you do damage to them, Like, the game is very, very pretty. It's got a cell shaded aesthetic, and it looks really good. Lots and lots of color. But when you're fighting bosses specifically, every time you do damage, the color is removed from them, and they go black and white for a very short period of time, a fraction of a second. But it looks awesome. It's reminiscent of old arcade games, like beat 'em ups, where they would flash red, but here they're flashing black and white. Cool effect. But I like the game. I like it. It's an early access game, no achievements yet, so that's how early access it is. But being an early access game, there is a lot of content there. There's not a lot of enemy variety from what I've experienced in my short time with the game. But it is also a Game Pass. It's on Game Pass, so that is important to note. But I like it. The core is there and it's strong. The gameplay is pretty solid. It's a little bit looser than Gunfire Reborn, for example, and it'll take a bit of fiddling to find the right sensitivity, I'd say. I've found something that works relatively well for me, because one of the things that was immediately a problem is that the vertical sensitivity was the same as the horizontal sensitivity, which is big no. I do not need to move up and down at the same sensitivity as left and right. No, do not like that. So that was the first thing I changed. But it runs well. When you get the game to the sensitivity you like, it feels pretty good. You got a double jump, which is always really nice. The one thing is lacking, I don't know if you get this or we'll be able to get it via an upgrade at some point. And if not, I would love it if they added it to the game. There's no dashing, and that is something I kept missing while playing the game. And maybe it's because I while playing it, because of how similar it is, I kept thinking about Gunfire Reborn, which doesn't have a double jump but has a dash. And if I had to pick one or the other, I'd like to have that dash. That dash it feels better. So I would love it if that is an eventual upgrade I can get, or is added in the future. But if you don't mind playing the game in early access, I would check it out. Of course, if you have Xbox or PC Game Pass, I think this is on PC as well. Worth looking into. It won't cost you nothing, and you might be pleasantly surprised. And then when you are pleasantly surprised, even though it's on Game Pass, you can buy it and support a developer who's working on the game while they're working on it and continue to play it. So pretty good stuff. It's a lot. I don't know how much bigger they're planning to make it or expand, how much more. There are a few things where it's like, okay, this is under construction. But it is a much bigger thing than Gunfire Reborn, where you were just upgrading your character. In this, you are upgrading your base, and you are upgrading, I think, weapon. Like, there's a lot more stuff to fiddle around with, and it does have co-op as well. So, I haven't dabbled with that, but I am very pleasantly surprised by it so far. Yeah, I like me my road games though, so that's worth keeping in mind as well. That's pretty much it as far as what I've been playing and whatnot. So let us check out the Patreon questions and call it a podcast. Hi. What the hell that was? So, from Enshi. Would you rather have sandpaper hands or only be able to eat food you've hunted and or gathered? I'd have to go with the food I've hunted or gathered one, because it's just sandpaper hands seems like it would be an absolute nightmare, because I just think about how often I end up rubbing my eyes for this reason or that reason, and if not for that, I think I'd be fine with sandpaper hands. But because of that, I'm pretty sure I'd fucking destroy my eyes if I had sandpaper hands. So, I mean, when I think about what I eat vegetables, chicken, eggs, and oatmeal. So, and yogurt. That would be the biggest problem. I would need to have like a cow, I guess. I do drink milk, so I'd have to get a cow. But the chicken thing, you have chickens, Angie, and if you can raise chickens, anyone can raise chickens. Am I right? Because you're fucking stupid. What the hell was that? I kid. You're really smart. That's not even me joking right there. You're a fucking incredibly intelligent human being. If anyone's stupid, I'm the stupid one, especially compared to you. But yeah, you do have chickens, and they lay a bunch of eggs, so there's that. How long does it take to raise a chicken? How long does it take a chicken to go from chicken to full-grown chicken that I could then kill and eat the chicken of? Shit, I eat salmon every day. I don't want to go fishing, but I don't want to rub my eyes with sandpaper eyes. I don't exactly know how oats and oatmeal are processed and gathered, so that can be more complicated than I want to deal with. And also, I don't know. I eat a lot of oatmeal, and I don't know how big of a farm. It all sucks. Maybe I could just have sandpaper hands but wear silicone gloves. We'll see. I mean, we won't see because this is just hypothetical. Now, from Jedi, are aliens or ghosts real? Aliens are 100% real. Ghosts, fuck off. No. No one will ever be able to convince me that ghosts are real, but I think anyone who would say that aliens are not real is incredibly narcissistic and moronic and just the biggest dumb piece of shit in the world, which I hope to God you think aliens are real, Jedi, and anyone listen. The reason why, if you're wondering why I said all that and you're confused, I'm not the first person to say this, but the idea that we are the only intelligent life in the universe, in the galaxy, whatever, is insane. How in the vastness of space, you know how huge space is? It goes on further than we could ever fathom. And to think that in all of that space, literal space, there is not another intelligent life form out there? Get the fuck out of here. Even stupid life form. Like, it doesn't have to be intelligent to be an alien. Aliens can be stupid. You're telling me there's not stupid alien life out there? Fuck off. Get out of here. There's at the very least stupid aliens out there. But I guarantee there are lots of smart aliens too. So I think that's unquestionable. I don't think there is any argument against the existence of aliens. Do I believe aliens have come to Earth and abducted people and shoved things up their ass? I know. But I'm not going to say that hasn't happened. But I have no reason to believe it has happened either. All I'm saying is aliens do exist. That there are things out there. And to think that they're not, it's like whatever. But ghosts, apparitions, people after they die, hanging out, moving objects, making noise, solving their murder after their hot making wife is whatever. No. No. I just, why? How? Huh? And I would assume, like, my mom believes in ghosts. I think every time she talks about ghosts, I'm like, God, just stop it. Stop it. And then last but not least, from Living Large, since they made a new Night Court that wasn't a reboot, rather a continuation of the original, which TV show would you like to see get the same treatment? I didn't actually think about this question. I saw it, and that is a tough one. I know they made a few movies about Psych. Psych. Haven't watched them. But even if those didn't exist, I don't know if I would need more Psych. The question comes down to, what is something I loved but also want more of, and not a reboot? I don't know. I have Pushing Daisies. Because this is what I would want, alright? Like, I love Pushing Daisies. I would love to have gotten an actual ending to that. And I would love to have gotten more of it. But a show I fucking adored that lasted, what? 9 episodes or something. It's very, very short. Keen Eddie was so good, and I would love to have gotten more of that again. I would love to get more of it right now with those people. Bring it back, or anything with Park Valley. Bring back Human Target. That show's great as well. Give me more Almost Human. Or he's busy, Carl Urban's busy with the boys now, so I'm not going to get that. Give me bring back the good guys. That could 100% work with the time that's passed. I'm just taking your question and looking at it as, what's a show that was canceled that I would like to see not canceled? That's the way I interpreted your question. I'm sorry. That's me cheating. But, that's it, man. So that'll do it. Beside the backlog, get excited. There's episodes for The Punisher and Slime Rancher, Punisher, and Animal Crossing New Horizon. Those are ones that are in the bank. I still need to finish up the episodes or the videos for Punisher and Animal Crossing. But then in addition to those, I'll be doing, like I said, the Rumbleverse and Crossfire X and whatnot games, and then probably getting back to the ones I've been wanting to get to for a while now. So get excited, fingers crossed, get pumped that I maybe I'm able to pump out episodes at a more frequent basis that allows me to then move on and do second runs and shit like that. So whatever, man, whatever. That's going to do it for this here episode. Once again, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you'd like to find all my links of import and whatnot, you can go over to pixelatedsausage.com/PXS to find links to everywhere you want to be there. And if you enjoy being here and listening to this here show and any of the shows I do and what have you, you can go over to patreon.com/pxs to support me and my nonsense that away. With that said, that'll do it for this here episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. For real, for real, for real. So, as always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode. And for now, adios, arrivederci, bye!
It's go time, go daddy.